This is from the Bleacher Report. Players who need an impressive camp to avoid being cut for the Browns. They go with Anthony Schwartz. Because there are so many playmakers, Browns may end up having to part with somebody such as Schwartz, 22-year-old, flashed some potential over his first 2 NFL seasons. All right, this one is ridiculous, but we'll go through it anyway. David Njoku, they say. No secret the 27-year-old wanted to get a fresh start somewhere else in the past as he made it publicly known and requested a trade. Of course, Browns wanted to move. If the Browns wanted to move on from Njoku, they could first pursue a trade. Yeah, that's not going to happen. And then number 3, A.J. Green. Unlikely that Green will move into a starting role for Cleveland, which has Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, Martin Emerson at the top of its cornerback depth chart. Also has some solid depth at position now with rookie Cameron Mitchell in the mix as well. Jeff, there's no way David Njoku is more likely to be an all-pro than he is to get cut. And A.J. Green, that's an interesting one. Every time they put him in, he played well. I can't and Andrew Berry and the Browns love cornerbacks, but I do get the idea of the numbers game there.
Well, first things first, and this goes on a lot with the tight end talk. I think people just somewhere along the line have not watched David Njoku and seen what he's become as far as an inline blocker over the last couple of years. You know, the Browns specifically went out and signed a tight end in 2020. By the end of 2020, David Njoku was the better player. But in 21, David Njoku was the better player and better blocker than Austin Hooper. David Njoku was a really good blocker last year. So if you're just going by receiving, yeah, his numbers may not be by the top. Okay, I get it, but his blocking is there in spades. Anthony Schwartz. Anthony Schwartz can maybe make a saving case for himself because, wow, Anthony Schwartz was a player I loved coming out of Auburn, and when talking with a lot of draft people, what do you think the ceiling for a player like Anthony Schwartz is? Well, Marquise Goodwin. So that could maybe be the saving grace for Anthony Schwartz is he could maybe get himself back into the right frame of mind. And he's been through a lot mentally, a lot of missed time, a lot of head injuries. But that would be the type of player Anthony Schwartz could be. Obviously, the Browns would love to have one because they have Marquise Goodwin here. But I think it's kind of more of we don't think it's going to work out with Anthony. That's why we have Marquise here. A.J. Green, I don't think the Browns necessarily would cut him because I think he would come in at cornerback 5, cornerback 6, and be able to play special teams. The more intriguing thing would be, would somebody say to Andrew Berry, what would it take? And the Browns love their day 3 picks. They love to be able to have maneuverability through, during the NFL draft. Maybe somebody thinks that it's time that A.J. Green gets a little bit more of an opportunity because it's not that A.J. Green – because he's just not going to get the opportunity here. So, look, he can put in all the work he wants, but he's still, at best, the 4th man here among cornerbacks. So, for A.J. Green, it's just always been a tough road, because it's always been a deep room here. Has he played well when he's got his opportunities? Yes, but it might be the better opportunity for A.J. Green, not necessarily the Browns, that A.J. Green gets to go somewhere else where maybe they have a legitimate more chance to give him 30, 40 snaps a game.
Yeah, and again, it'll be interesting to see what develops with that cornerback situation. They have a lot of good ones.